They're preparing an invasion.
They must be using their stockpiled light to transport their forces between worlds.
Break their ranks and ruin their ritual, Guardian. Empress Kyber deploying Bracchus to assist him.
I recognize him from the battlefield. A worthy ally.
I could not allow the Hive to fear humanity alone.
Guess we can forget about the element of surprise. Hard to hide a giant Cabal Bracchus.
I don't wish to hide. I want Savathun's brood to see the agents of their destruction.
God damn.
That's one big ritual. This must be what's keeping the portal open.
If you're right, then targeting the tribute bearers will ruin the operation.
Up. Ooh. How did I not die there? What is going on? What up? Jesus Christ, Mo. I know he's here, bud. He came in and like ran directly into me. Mo, I see you, bud. God damn. God damn it. So how was work? Yeah.
Hey. We're down. Alright.
Yeah.
I had to fucking do a bunch of the fucking
Oh. Yeah. Well, that's not bad. It sucks, but yeah. Who the fuck is this dude?
You have it to where you gotta fucking.
Yeah. I never heard of her.
Weird.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, is that the new one?
She's newer, but it's like fucking. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Nice, so it's hard to like.
Yeah.
And there's like no expression with any.
It's Destiny 2. There was one, but it's $100, so I didn't get it. So I'm playing the last update, which I did buy, and I never finished it.
I fucking have been playing. I think I played like 5 minutes of. For some reason, I want to say I played it. Game on something. Dude, this game. Like Dark
Really?
Souls, but with,
Okay.
I mean, it just works. Now, there is one fundamentally broken fucking thing about the game. I love everything about it so much more.
Yeah.
Like the fucking sound mixing on it.
Oh, that'll
It sounds
break again.
like a fucking guy that is 30 miles off is there's no directional sense at all to it.
Oh.
And so it makes it very tough.
Yeah.
And the thing is, a lot of it's weird because I mean I've died so many times.
Yeah.
I almost want to say it's harder than Dark. Now, there's difficulty.
What?
You're just
God
stuck
damn, I'm
on
getting
fucking one
fucking
thing.
wrecked.
It goes like the. They
Yeah.
only made the hardest because somebody fucking too easy, which I mean it is brutally fucking hard. You have to,
Really?
like look up how to beat certain parts, and I mean it's just.
Really?
Kind dying constantly. Is I don't think I've even with the dark goals. Like I would say a lot of it's fake. A lot of the deaths are fake.
Yeah.
Like there were times I'd get pretty fucking pissed off.
Yeah.
For some reason, like I have not gotten overly mad with it, except on this last world I've been.
Okay.
And I feel like that's where the sound mixing is I've noticed it the most.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's made it a giant problem. Another broken thing with it to where it's like enemies can spawn fucking pretty much anywhere. So
Okay.
okay, it's somewhat understandable because apparently they're based by that to us. All the more reason to where it has to be. I have to know where the fuck they are compared to my position.
The enemy system is based off what?
Like routes.
Oh.
So it's like they're made.
Excellent.
Okay, so that they can pop up anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
fair.
Already done, Empress.
I can see now where Commander Zavala gained his tactical acumen.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But it's been
Remnant?
fun. But the reason why I started playing it is because the fucking sequels. So now that I got back into this, I'm super excited for the sequel. Sound mixing, that's a fucking easy fix. That's the only problem your game has.
Remnant from the Ashes.
Yeah.
Remnant from the Ashes feels like the perfect remedy for the gamers that have tried and tried to get on board with the Dark Souls franchise, but were sent into fits of rage due to its brutally unforgiving melee combat.
We're gonna. Or you can hit that. Yeah.
Hope it has a
Remnant
chat.
has often been labelled as Dark
That's
Souls
right.
with guns, but for me that's an insult to the gunplay mechanics of this game. I'd say it's more guns with Dark Souls, because the gunplay takes centre stage in Remnant, and the times that I saw the similarities to Dark Souls were mostly confined within the menus of the game. There's red crystals that act as bonfires, which restocks your ammo, respawns all the enemies, and refills your dragon shards, which are basically Estus flasks.
It's procedurally
There's
general.
similarities such as leveling up your character as well as your weapons and your
Okay.
armor. That's about
Interesting.
Bosses can
the obvious differences like a bucket load of guns, but
Okay.
there's subtle ones like there being no death penalty. So you
It
can
looks
get
good.
XP when dying, and what's growing to be more
I feel like you'd
and more
like
of a
it.
design choice in gameplay.
It looks good. It looks like a better version of Destiny. Like, because Destiny is the same thing. I mean, it's just easier,
From long, medium,
but
short-ranged
the
stuff.
same system.
As you progress, you can easily switch up your style however you see fit. As you play, you'll find the occasional story-driven item being dropped from bosses, or maybe an NPC that's hidden away on a level somewhere, but the best gear is usually hidden in the world, and that brings me onto the procedurally generated world. Remnant is a nightmare for those walkthrough authors and those that use them, because when trying to Google the location of a certain item, they've had to list all the possible locations to where you might find that item. Your playthrough will not only have a completely different layout to the map, but you could find different items, different hidden locations, and even different quests. I absolutely love this aspect. It adds so much replay value to the game. Developers Gunfire Games have catered to those who want to find as much gear as possible in a single playthrough, though, with
Fucking
the
whore. That's the
adventure mode
word.
option allowing you to revisit a world that will be randomly regenerated every time you reset it, meaning those loot-hungry players might have to roll the dice more than once to find a certain piece of precious loot. Now, the combat mechanics are unbelievably satisfying. It's a degree of satisfaction I normally only get from
Yeah, something this hard, you need that directional
You
audio.
have to have it.
just
And it
feels so perfectly refined.
Orange.
There's no additional but mediocre gameplay mechanics here that bloat it up so the game can claim to have multiple gameplay features. The devs knew what they wanted to create from the get-go, and they didn't deviate from that vision and refine the gunplay mechanics to near perfection.
And every everybody says that, or is it?
Every eye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I looked it up.
Yeah.
Point of view. I think anyone who picks this up and
Funny because I noticed it, but it didn't bother me too much in the first couple.
from the ashes.
Yeah.
Like it bothered me, but I was like, okay.
To choose from that even include melee weapons, so it's not just guns, but really the melee weapons are more of a last resort to buy yourself some breathing space if you're getting swarmed on. There's no hip firing, so all of your aiming will be down the sights, and when you typically hip fire, you'll be swinging your melee weapon instead. It all works seamlessly, and another layer to these mechanics are the mods that can be applied to your weapons. These can provide alternative firing modes or damaging and healing areas of effect, but they're limited in their use. These mods require building up by simply firing the weapon at an enemy before you can make use of the mod to take big dirty chunks out of the enemy's health. Remnant has 3-player co-op too, so the procedural generation of each map will constantly keep you on your toes when entering your friend's world. Everything will seem so foreign to you, you won't recognize any of the layout while the host is strutting his stuff with the utmost confidence.
I don't remember any of this.
I personally prefer to play solo, but having tried Remnant's co-op on the PS4 a while back, I remember it being much simpler than Dark Souls. It's just a nice and simple drop in and drop out from the menu, so there's no finding a summoning crystal, placing down a summoning sign on the floor, spinning
hate that
there 3 times,
stupidest
shouting, ding,
fucking-
dong, I need a friend. Just to play online with your mates, it's not that excessive. You'll be tethered to the host, so you'll be traveling the dimensions together. All items
Yeah.
Makes it
between everyone.
better.
Yeah. Players, the enemy's health grows depending on the number of players that are playing, and the enemies are scaled to the host. So even if you're a low level host, the enemies won't scale more than 3 levels above your own. This could make it a breeze for higher level players, but stops the game being impossible for low level players. So you're still better off all being around the same level to each other to balance the experience. I do think the more casual players can play Remnant and still find a healthy challenge, even on more difficult settings, of which there's 4 to choose from, and you can even turn on or off one-hit kills and the aim snapping to tweak the difficulty even further. This might offend the FromSoft purists, but honestly, who gives a shit? The enemies' attack animations are far more predictable than FromSoft enemies. There's audio cues for the tougher enemies, letting you know a badass is on.
Yeah, I was just seeing that.
Special audio design for all the enemies is done well, so you're
No room
constantly
for-
being fed these audible clues about an enemy's location. Again, this will sound too forgiving to some, but more accessible to others. You've still got to defeat that enemy though, and that is purely skill-based, and therefore if you do manage to put an enemy down, you'll still feel like
Yeah.
Like waves coming, and it's only 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I swear to Christ, I spent it.
You'd feel like.
And I mean,
That works really well.
it was
Having
fucking
squads
unreal.
flanking and approaching when
I had to look up how to-
and some just charge at you regardless, and having that mixture of
Charging towards it, you're
running
fucked.
for your life,
Yeah.
it's
Your run's
just
completely-
pretty intense
Gotta
interaction.
fucking shoot him as he's coming into the window. That's not even the hardest fucking
Honesty.
thing.
Don't get
And
me
Yeah.
it's like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
But there's only a few bosses that pose the genuine threat by themselves. Some of the best.
It's like you would never think of that.
Alternating attack patterns and phases to the fight, but the majority of the bosses in Remnant aren't that difficult on their own. The difficulty comes in the waves of standard enemies that are thrown at you throughout the boss fight. This
All
is
of them have,
a
like,
fresh
spawn.
new challenge, fending them off and looking for that window to do damage against the boss itself. Occasionally there's bosses that fight on their own, and I would have loved to have seen more creativity like this in more of the other bosses. Like I've mentioned, the exploration will vary from player to player, but the satisfaction of the search is pretty simplistic and linear, regardless of the map's layout. Items have a color-coded glow to them, so they aren't too difficult to find, but even so, you'll still want to check every nook and cranny, down alleys, through underground entrances maybe, or even some pretty well-hidden secret areas. You'll find weapons and armor sets, as well as rings and amulets that offer some interesting buffs to your character. There's quite a few to find too, and some are way more beneficial than others, so it's a rewarding search overall. You'll be constantly on the lookout for chests or smashing crates, hunting for the various consumables to help you in battle, scrap, which is the game's main currency to spend at merchants, or the numerous types of materials that can be used to upgrade your weapons, with the highest levels of each weapon requiring the rarest of materials. Your character's development comes in the way of traits, and you'll unlock these traits through simple progression.
So what's the
Also,
story
lots of
behind-
skill-based traits such as increased vaulting
And so
speed,
here's why I stopped playing it. It's like when I
increased weak spot
first
damage after you've hit
looked at it, I
enemies
remember I was like, oh,
multiple
this is
times.
kind of cool. I could get into this.
Bit
Mhm.
of a
But it's
mixed bag.
slow
There's
starting.
always
You
the
know?
cell shading effect being used, and in areas it can look really blotchy with low res textures, but
Yeah.
others are much crisper and
Like it's like
pleasing to the eye. All the different
story
worlds
is
that you
just-
explore
It's just shit.
differences in color too, which makes for a nice refreshment on the.
It does get better as it goes.
Those low res textures are likely helping the
It
game.
actually, you know what? It does kind of have a couple of choices though.
So it's a surprisingly
Actually gotten
demanding
kind of-
game. There's a
Yeah.
free
In
the
version
beginning,
upgrade
it's-
to those on console, and for 60
Dumb.
I don't care.
and the 4K 30 FPS option. There's no official word of a sequel just yet, but it certainly sounds likely considering the rumors suggest two
Yeah.
trademarks have been filed for Remnant from the
Like it's
Ashes
coming
2, or just simply Remnant 2. I really hope this happens because I think the revenue generated.
It's good.
Another cool thing about it is like, so they have different modes. I don't know if it came out like this when it was released. They have like adventure mode to where
Yeah.
doesn't affect the campaign, but experience you gain and fucking items.
Okay.
So like you can like almost like pause your campaign, go on it, play like a shortened version with a couple less dungeons.
Yeah.
Don't have to roll through the whole camp. Like the dude was saying, like I went through a playthrough and didn't get the assault.
Yeah.
To where it's like, oh, I had to fucking go the adventure mode and fucking like they call it re-roll.
Yeah.
So you re-roll that thing, do it
Right.
like 6 times, and I
Yeah.
finally.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I mean, it is different.
That's similar to the raids. You have to play them. I mean, they don't change up, but you have to play them multiple times. Piece of gear or
It's cool. That would bother me because it doesn't change.
yeah.
Change like it. Like it looks like the same.
Right.
Bad guys are always in different spots. The
Cool.
type of bad guys are in different.
Yeah.
You don't.
No.
So much.
See, here's my thing. Like on the whatever mode, normal mode, this is. It reminds me of Destiny a lot. Like the enemies are erratic and very linear.
Oh yeah.
But I haven't seen any co-op yet.
The first one's kind of based.
Okay, good. That's the only thing that keeps me up. Okay. does.
First one down.
It still looked pretty good.
See, that's like every regular bad.
Yeah.
That's about the.
Damn.
Oh, you can change the difficulty too. Like if you go on adventure mode, you can like. So on that, I was like, fuck. Then I put it on normal so I could breeze through it just to where I could get through.
Right, right.
Given I got the assault rifle, it's good. It's probably the best gun in the game. Still fucking brutally fucking hard.
Yeah.
It's not. Crazy to think like fuck third boss.
Mm-hmm.
And if you choose a certain difficulty for the campaign and find out it's too hard,
Yeah.
you can re-roll the campaign, but it starts the whole.
It's just like quitting and restarting it.
Yeah. Except you're still there.
Okay. They keep all your traits
Yeah.
and weapons.
There's a ton. 50.
Cordyceps. You see that? It looks good.
The #1 pros is facing.
Oh, I've just been playing Destiny.
My mom's dad died.
Yeah.
Not even so